When's the last time that you sat in silence and truly asked yourself, what do I want? Each new year brings about this idea of a New Year's resolution, of people sitting with themselves and going, oh, I want to lose weight, or maybe I want to get a promotion, or maybe I want this new business idea to launch off, or maybe I want my YouTube channel to do well this year. And everybody has different goals at the new year. And the sad reality is a lot of times those goals end up falling off about halfway through, if not sooner than that. So I want to get down to the root cause of this. Why do people give up on their goals so easy? Why do people set these maybe unrealistic goals for themselves and then not follow through? So in this video, I've got a 3-step process that is very simple. Notice I said simple. It's not easy, but it's a simple process in order to accomplish your goals a little bit easier this year in 2026. Welcome back to the Dank Possums channel. My name is Reed. I'm so glad you're here today. A lot of times people set goals that are unrealistic for themselves, or they set goals that aren't even really theirs. They try to fulfill what their parents wanted, or what society tells them they should want, or what their friends are doing and they think they should also be doing. Maybe it's what their partner's telling them they should want. It's almost kind of a shame that people don't sit with themselves more and say, hey, what do I want? What do I want out of life? You get one chance at this. You get one life. And I think people set these goals for themselves that they end up not fulfilling because it's not their ideas. It's not their ideations of life and what life should be and what they actually genuinely want life to be. And people's goals change, and I think that's good. I think it's a healthy thing. I think so many people are living lives that no longer serve them. It's like wearing pants from 10 years ago, expecting them to still fit you. And yeah, maybe you're the same size physically as you were 10 years ago, but the style's not the same. And your body changes, and just like your body changes, your mind changes, and your beliefs and your morals and everything else, like you evolve over time. And I think that your goals and your dreams for your life, your aspirations, they should change with you. I'll say this, if I followed what I thought I wanted a decade ago, I would be in a completely different life right now than what I am. And I would be miserable, honestly, genuinely miserable, because that's not the person that I ever wanted to become. The visions that I had for myself a decade ago are not the visions at all that I have for myself now. Sure, maybe some of them kind of carry throughout my life, or maybe some of them are linear, but it's definitely different. And I think that that's a good thing, to let your goals and your dreams evolve as you grow. So I wanted to say, if this video found you today, it found you for a reason. I personally don't believe in coincidences. I think that everything happens for a reason, even as twisted as some things are. I do believe that they are happening for a reason. There's a divine intervention. There's no such thing as a coincidence or an accident, in my opinion. I think there's something inside of you that is saying, hey, I'm ready to take this leap. I'm ready to change. I'm ready for something to be different in my life. You're still watching it because something resonates with you. In my personal experience, there are 2 different types of people in this world. And sure, maybe that's subjective, but here's what I've noticed. The first kind of person is the one who's living a scripted life. Now, this could be a script that society wrote for them. This could be a script that their parents wrote for them. I think that a lot of times we see this in people who their entire lives they wanted to be a piano player, but their parents pushed them to become a doctor. So now they're a doctor and they're not living their fullest potential. They're not living their dream life. They're not doing the things that are fulfilling for them, like being a musician. I notice that these people are all among us in all different professions of life, and they live the same day on repeat. It's like that movie with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day. They just keep living the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results, and that's the definition of insanity. These type of people never stop to ask themselves, why is my life suck? Why is my life like this? What did I do to get here? Oftentimes, these people wake up a little bit too late, and it ends up manifesting in a midlife crisis. These are the type of people that end up getting to a certain point in their lives and realizing that they've been in the career path that they never wanted to be in, and they've been in a relationship that they never wanted to be in, and they end up filing for divorce and end up dating someone that's half their age and driving a Ferrari, and it's a mess. It's a messy way of waking up to this understanding that they've been living a scripted life that somebody else wrote for them, and they've just been walking in going through the motions. The other type of people are the ones that are constantly evolving. These people are constantly changing, they're constantly growing, they're constantly reinventing themselves. I would say I fit in this category, and to others it may look like a lack of stability, but in reality, I just get bored easily. I try something, I do it for a little while, and then I realize I want more than this. I want something better than this. This isn't serving me. This isn't what I actually genuinely want. It's kind of what I thought would be maybe a safe bet, or maybe it's what I thought somebody else, meaning my parents or society, wanted me to do, and it's not at all what I want to do. So I'm going to quit it and go on to something else that actually fulfills me, makes me happy. These types of people take inventory of their lives on a regular basis. They sit down with themselves in introspection and they go, hey, what's going right and what's going wrong? And what do I need to change? What do I need to let go of in order to make room for things that are meant to be in my life? You notice what no longer serves you, and it's actually a very healthy thing to practice. I recommend it. That's kind of what this video is all about. Now, I get it. Change can be scary. It feels like chaos when you're trying to hold on to everything, especially when it no longer serves you. But it feels safe to hold on to things that are maybe hindering you rather than to take a leap of faith into something that would be much, much better for you. But I will say this, change is inevitable. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. It's the only sure thing in life other than death. To a lot of people, they follow this typical blueprint of the American dream where they get out of high school, they go to college, they meet somebody, they get married to that person, they buy a house, they get their dream job, and then the white picket fence and the dog and the kids and the yard and everything else, and they're having barbecues every Saturday, and that's their life. And if that is the life that you genuinely want, there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Matter of fact, good for you. You've accomplished something that a lot of us never will have the chance to, or maybe not in that lens. But I think a lot of people end up following that life because it's what their parents did, and it's what their grandparents did, and maybe it's what they were told their entire lives that, hey, this is the blueprint. This is the American dream. If you want to have a good life, this is what you've got to follow. And I think a lot of people try to put themselves in that blueprint, and they're met with a lot of resistance, or they're met with a lot of friction, or they're met with a lot of unfulfillment. And that ends up manifesting into depression and anxiety and marital issues and being a shitty parent and being a horrible coworker or horrible boss. It manifests in different ways that aren't pleasant because you're not living your true authentic life. You're not living for your higher self and doing the things that you genuinely want to be doing with your life. And then one day you wake up down the line and you've got $300,000 in debt because you wanted to own a home, and because you wanted to buy a brand new car, and because you wanted to do this and that, and go on a vacation to Tahiti. And that's all great and fine and dandy, but now you've put yourself in a box where you have these chains that you're shackled to this dream that's not even your dream. You're shackled to this debt. You're shackled to this house, to this job. A salary is the golden handcuffs that keeps you from pursuing your dream. The 2 weeks vacation and the paid health benefits keeps you from fulfilling your dream, from pursuing what you actually genuinely want to do with your life. You end up being stuck in this box where you can't go any direction because you have debt, or you have other responsibilities that you've taken on, and it keeps you from living the life that you genuinely want to live. There's people in my life that I wish I could sit down with them and tell them this. I wish I could be like, hey, you're living somebody else's dream for you. You're living the dream that your dad had. You're not living your dream. And I can see it because you're depressed every day, and you're yelling every day, and you're pissed off every day. But unfortunately, I can't do that because they're not going to listen. And that's okay, because not everybody's ready to hear this. Not everybody's at that point in their life where they are aware that they're not fulfilled, or they're aware, and maybe they are, but not to the point where they can pinpoint it on what it is. I think a lot of people just settle for the excuse of like, I'm just depressed. I'm just anxious. And I'm not undermining those two things because they are very real feelings. Trust me, I battle with them too. And there are people that have diagnosed like severe depression and severe anxiety orders, and a lot of that can come from PTSD and childhood trauma. And believe me, I get it. I've been through things that should have broken me. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to put yourself in a box. And if you're already in a box, there is a way out. And I think that way out, or maybe that way up, however you want to word that, I think it starts with asking a very dangerous question. And that question comes with a lot of weight. And that question is this really what I want? Is this really the life that I wanted for myself? Is this the life that I envisioned when I was a child for myself having now? And if the answer is no, then that's a hard feeling to sit with, especially if you've put a lot of work into it, especially if you've put a lot of work into going to college and getting the degree, or if you've spent a lot of work getting, going into debt to get the house, or going into debt to get the whatever, fill in the blank. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a painful question to come to terms with. It's a painful understanding and realization to be like, oh, this isn't what I want to be doing in my life. I think even asking that question, it can feel like a sin, because it feels like, oh, I'm not grateful for what I have. I'm not grateful for the life that I've created. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that you're not grateful. I think it's just that you've changed and you've grown and you've evolved. And I think if you are here and you're watching this and you felt anything while listening to my voice, I think you know what I'm talking about. Because in one hand, you are grateful for the life you have. You are grateful for the stability that you've built. You are grateful for the job and the money and the house and the partner and everything else, right? But on the other hand, you feel unfulfilled. This isn't the life you actually wanted. You imagined yourself doing something else. You imagined yourself traveling more. You imagined yourself being an artist or painting or playing piano or making YouTube videos or starting a podcast. Or you envisioned yourself doing something more with your life other than just paying bills and working. And I think a lot of people, I know myself included for many years, a lot of people are almost addicted to the feeling of being stuck, or addicted to the feeling of being unhappy with where they are in life. I think a lot of people will choose to either stay busy by being addicted to something or fulfilling all their every waking moment with something. There's people that I know that are so unhappy with their lives that when alcohol quit working, they turn to working more. They turn to working more and never taking time for themselves, and never taking time to rest, and never taking time to go do what they want to do, whether that's play pickleball or go to a park or just lay in bed all day or play video games or watch a movie or whatever that looks like to you. It's going to look different for everybody. They'll fill every moment, every waking moment with work. And a lot of times it's busy work. It's things that don't even really matter. They're things that they're not paying your bills. They're not bettering your life. It's how can I make myself so busy that I don't think about the hell that I'm living in? How can I numb myself with alcohol? How can I numb myself with weed or with smoking cigarettes or with other drugs? Like, how can I numb myself to get myself out of this reality because I'm so unhappy with the life that I'm living? I see so much of that. I see so much pain, so much suffering because people don't want to take a chance on themselves because they have these false beliefs of, oh, I'll never make it. Oh, I'll never be able to change my life because this is the life that I wanted, and now here I am, and I should be grateful, or I should. It's like you should yourself to death, and you have all these voices going on in your head where it's like your mom and your dad, and then society, and maybe it's your teacher from school and your friends, and like all the societal pressure building up, and you just have to go sit in silence. You have to go sit with yourself. Go sit by the water. The water is so therapeutic. The water is so good to be around. Go sit by the ocean or by a lake or by a river. by yourself, alone. Don't have your cell phone on you. Just sit with yourself. And then quiet your mind. Quiet your thoughts. And ask yourself, is this it? Is this really it? Is this what I want? What do I want? What do you want? If it's the life you've created, then awesome. You're doing better than most. Genuinely, I'm proud of you. But if it's not, let's figure out how to change it. And so that's step one. Step one is coming to terms with, hey, this isn't the life I want. Because here's the truth bomb. This is the life that you created. This is the life that you wanted at one point. And if it's not the life that you wanted at one point, then it's the life that you defaulted to. It's the life that you let happen to you. It was your choice to get to this point. And you have to take accountability. You can't blame everyone around you. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame the dog. You can't blame your partner. You can't blame anybody else but yourself. You have to take accountability. And once you wake up to that truth, once you wake up to the fact that, oh, this is my fault, you can forgive yourself. You can give yourself some grace and some compassion. And then figure out what the next step is. Figure out, where do you go from here? You have two choices in this. Your first option is to do nothing. You can sit around and bitch and moan and be pissed off and do absolutely nothing to fix your problems. Your second option is to surrender. It's to admit that you don't know how you got here. You don't know where your life went wrong because you've just been going through the motions all these years. And you have to admit that this isn't actually what you want anymore. And once you can admit that this isn't what you want anymore, that's when real change can happen. That's when you can actually host the availability to hold space for change. You got to remember, it's not going to happen immediately. It'll take some time. It might happen way faster than you think it's going to, but it's going to take some time and it's going to take some work. So I told you at the beginning of this video that I have a 3-step process. And I told you it's simple. It's very simple. But it's not easy. It's going to take work. It's going to take actually doing something. But it's a very simple process. And so I want to share this process with you. So step 1 is to discover what you want. Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself alone. Sit with yourself by the water. Or maybe at your favorite place, your favorite park. But sit with yourself. Turn your cell phone off. Leave it in the car. Maybe you go take a walk. But be alone. Be with yourself. And when you're by yourself and you're sitting in introspection, you have to strip everything away. You have to take everything away. Okay, what do I want? Not what my partner wants, not what my mom and dad wants, not what society wants. Like, if I had lost all of them, as morbid of a thought that might be, if I lost all these people, if I lost everything, if I was alone, if I got plucked out of where I'm at and I got dropped in a random location and I had to start over, knowing nobody, having no past, having no history that other people are aware of, what would I do? What would you do? Genuinely, what would you do? What's your answer? And you may not know right now, and that's okay. But that's the first step, is you have to ask yourself that hard question. You have to ask yourself, does my ideal life, does my dream life look like the life that I have right now? And it might be pretty damn close. Mine's really, really close. I'm not living my dream life. I am not living the life that I want fully. There are holes. There are certain things that I'm lacking. There are certain things that I'm missing, right? I don't want this to come across to you as though I have all my shit together and I know everything and I'm fucking perfect and my shit doesn't stink. That's not true at all. None of that is true. I'm a very broken, imperfect person, but I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of self-improvement. I've done a lot of growth. And I've come a long way from where I used to be just a few years ago. And I've done a lot of work to create what I do have, but I'm not there yet. And I've had to sit with myself over and over and over and over. That's the thing, is this may not be a one-time process. This may be a thing that you have to do over and over and over. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I want? And you can't look at it like a war. You have to look at it as battles, right? As small battles. You have to look at it as small things to change. You have to figure out how to move in the right direction. You know, for me, I'm going to use this example because this is my goal for 2026. My goal for this year, my biggest goal above everything else, is to move to Austin, Texas. It's been a goal of mine since I was probably in middle school, honestly. It's something that I wanted back then. And it always felt like, well, no, now's not the right time. That's actually, it's not reasonable. Or, oh, I need to stay here because this is where my parents live. Or, oh, I need to live in this area or what. Like, it's taking me, I'm 27. So it's taken me half of that to get to this point of realizing, no, I actually do want to move to Austin, Texas. And so I'm going to use that as my example for this. So I had to sit with myself. I had to live in several different areas. I had to live in, I'm from Panama City. I had to live in Orlando, Florida for a couple of years. I've had to live in Ohio for 6 months. And I had to live in a van at one point. And I had to go, you know what? I want to move to Austin, Texas. Like for realsies this time. I mean it. I want to move to Austin, Texas. And so that leads me to step 2. Step 2 of this process is choose your problems. Choose the problems that you're willing to have. Choose the problems that you're willing to solve. Every goal comes with problems. And I'm going to share a little secret with you because this is something that I didn't understand for a long time and I wish I would have. Especially as a neurodivergent person as myself, I have ADHD. And so I want to share this little tidbit with you. Humans thrive on dopamine. We love dopamine. And the best way to get a dopamine hit is to solve a problem. I know that might seem counterintuitive. I know that might seem a little crazy, but try it. Find a problem that you're dealing with. Find something that has been, maybe it's the laundry that's been sitting on your floor, or the laundry sitting in your chair that hasn't been put away. Or maybe it's the dishes in the sink. Or maybe it's the floor that needs to be swept. Maybe it's the coffee pot that needs to be cleaned out. The microwave needs to be cleaned out, I'm sure. Find something small, something manageable, something that you can do, right? And then do it and see how fulfilled you feel after doing that thing. It's a real thing. It's called the dopamine reward system. You have to complete a problem, fix it, you feel good about it. You can reward yourself with a little thing. Okay, if I clean the microwave out, I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream. Or I'm going to have one piece of chocolate. You have to figure out what works for you. You have to figure out, for me, it's Skittles, right? I love Skittles, sour Skittles specifically. So for me, if I want to get something done, I have to be like, okay, I'm going to do these 4 or 5 tasks. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to go buy a bag of sour Skittles. And I'm allowed to eat as many sour Skittles as I want. And maybe you got to set boundaries with yourself. Maybe that's not healthy for everybody. Maybe that's not, I'm sure if you have diabetes, you probably shouldn't eat a whole bag of sour Skittles. Especially because they seem to always come in king-size bags now. I digress. You have to choose the problems that you're willing to solve. You have to choose the problems that you're willing to take head on and accomplish and fix and solve and get to the other end of those problems, right? Because at the other end of those problems is where the reward lies. So for my example, right? My Austin, Texas move example. Well, I don't know if you guys have ever moved across the country, but it's expensive. And so I've got to save up money. Well, that's a problem. I have to save money. How do I save money if I'm making just enough to get by? I guess I'm going to have to work overtime, or I'm going to have to pick up a second job, right? And so those are problems that I'm having to solve first. And then once those problems are solved, other problems, it's like a spider web, right? So other problems will come about. I got to get a U-Haul. I've got to get an apartment set up. Before I even get the apartment set up, I have to actually apply. I have to spend the money on the application process and apply for these apartments in Austin, Texas. I have to get my job to transfer over or find a new job completely. I have to actually make the drive from Ohio to Austin, Texas. Along the way, there's problems of, I got to make sure I don't run out of gas. I got to make sure I don't get in a car accident. I got to make sure I stop halfway and take a nap and rest and get some sleep before continuing my journey. It's all little like bite-sized problems, right? So I have this major war of a problem, right? Move to Austin, Texas. That seems like such a daunting task. That seems like, holy shit, how am I going to do that, right? How the fuck am I going to move to Austin, Texas? Well, you take a step back and you go, okay, I got 20 other little itty bitty battles I've got to do in order to make that big goal happen. And this is going to be completely different for your problems. This is going to be completely different for your life and your situation and what your goals are. But you have to use the same rational thinking on how to break that down into little battles that you can win. Little bite-sized chunks that you're able to accomplish, that are achievable. And then step 3, and this might be the hardest step actually. It's taking action by faith. I think all of us have to believe in something, right? All of us have to have a sense of faith, a sense of trust in something. A lot of people believe in God. A lot of people believe in Allah. A lot of people call it the universe. I look at it as the Force from Star Wars. And if you're like, whoa, dude, you're getting too religious, you're getting too woo-woo on me, you need to like pump the brakes. You're harsh and my mellow, dude. I don't believe in all that. Well, find something to believe in. If you're an atheist, if you're a hardcore atheist or you're agnostic and you don't know, you can call it quantum physics, quantum leaping. You know, you can look at it as witchcraft. You can look at it as manifestation. You can look at it as, there's so many different things you can look at it as, but it's all the same thing, really. It's all something bigger. It's source. It's divine energy. It's something that's bigger than ourselves, right? And if you haven't found that, that might actually be step 1. That might be step 0. Before you even get to step 1, is connect with your higher being. Connect with something bigger than yourself. And I get it. Like, a lot of people don't want to believe in, they don't want to call it God, or they don't want to, use the word faith. If you don't want to use the word faith because maybe you've got some religious trauma, I get it. I was raised Southern Baptist. I understand. Then use the word delusional. Because it's the same thing. You have to be a little delusional to make your dreams come true. You have to be a little delusional to take that leap of that next step. Take that, what I'm going to say, leap of faith. You have to be a little delusional. And so, action by faith, right? Action by delusion. You have to be so certain in yourself. And it's not even yourself, really. You're so certain in something else. For me, it's like I said, the Force. I'm going to use the word God just for this example. I'm so certain that God is going to provide, because I've never gone without. I've struggled. I've been couch surfing. I like not having my own home. I've been in some shitty situations, right? But I've never gone without. Anytime I thought I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills, or, oh man, rent's coming up and I'm like short $200, something happens. A random person reaches out to me and is like, hey, I got that money I owe you. Here you go. Or I get a check in the mail, or a rebate on something, or, you know, maybe I found something I didn't know I still had and I was able to sell it and make that difference. The universe always provides. God always provides. The force, it will never leave you stranded, okay? You have to trust. You have to trust in it. You have to trust that everything is going to work out for your best, that everything's going to work out in your favor, and that you're in good hands. And so I'll say this, and this might be a bold claim, but without faith, or without that delusion, you're setting yourself up for failure. So maybe that's the first thing you need to do. And then do step 1, and then do step 2, and then step 3 is action by faith. So you have to take actionable steps. If I know that I need to save money to go to Austin, Texas, well, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not going to Disney. I'm not going out to eat every night. I'm not going skiing. I want to go skiing. I'm in Ohio. This is the first place I've ever lived that it actually snows. And I'm not going to be able to get a chance to go skiing unless something works out in a way that I am unaware of. Because that money, I would rather put that towards moving to Austin. So you've got to make actionable baby steps. You've got to make sacrifices. You've got to meet it halfway, right? You've got to meet the universe or God or whatever halfway. So like if you want, but you're not doing the action, then the universe can't meet you the rest of the way to make it happen. I hope this is making sense to you guys. And you've got to remember when you're taking these baby steps, because I believe me, I hate taking baby steps. But you've got to understand that these little small wins, and reward yourself, pat yourself on the back for these little tiny wins, right? You're still moving forward. You're still, even if it feels like you're not moving forward, sometimes progress isn't linear. Sometimes it's like this, but you're still moving up, right? You're still going up, but it doesn't look maybe how to the outside world like you're making a lot of progress or like you're doing a lot, but trust me, you are. Like, you're moving in the right direction. If you're still watching this, you're headed in the right direction. And if you're still watching this, please do me a favor. Please subscribe. That's it. You don't have to watch the rest of my videos. You don't have to watch my future videos. But I would appreciate if you would stop what you're doing right now and just hit that subscribe button, because it helps me a lot. I am taking a leap of faith, my own self, and doing this and creating this content and trying to express myself and, scratch that itch of curiosity. I just did a whole season of podcast called Have You Considered? And I was doing these deep dives, and I want to continue making something along those lines, but I want to make sure that I'm not doing it in vain, right? It's like, you should be doing it for yourself. Well, I am doing it for myself, but I also I want to build a community. I want to build something for people to enjoy, and I want to be able to help people. And so if this is helping you, please just do me one favor as a thank you. Just hit subscribe. Hit like if you want to. But anyway, you gotta just, to wrap all this up, you gotta spend some time alone. You gotta quiet your mind. You gotta sit in stillness. And you gotta figure out what it is you genuinely want. A lot of people maybe feel a little icky about the word meditation, because I think a lot of people assume that meditation is just sitting there with your eyes closed and yeah, it is that. That is meditation. But meditation can also be riding a bicycle. Meditation can also be painting. Meditation can be playing a musical instrument. It can be sitting on the beach. by yourself, doing nothing, just alone with your thoughts. It could be swimming. It could be driving. When I take a road trip, that's a meditation for me. And so you got to spend more time doing that, entering that different state of consciousness where I feel like we're more receptive to answers. I feel like we're more receptive to listening to that small voice, or listening to our intuition, or listening to the universe, or listening to God. I feel like we're more receptive when we're in that meditative state. And each time you do it, each time you practice that, it's like you get another puzzle piece, right? You get another puzzle piece, and another puzzle piece, and another puzzle piece, and another puzzle piece. And before you know it, you start to see a picture forming. And then you can go, oh, I do want to do that. I do want to actually, that is what I want to do. That is actually my dream. That is my goal. And as you start to see the picture forming, I think it's a little easier to start visualizing yourself living that life. And I'm not talking about a surface level, like, disingenuine positivity and, just be positive and visualize yourself living that way. And when you wake up every day, like, no, it's not really what I'm saying. I think what I'm trying to say is you start to picture yourself living that life, and you kind of realize, like, oh, that's not actually that far away. That's not actually that different from where I currently am. And that's really only 10 actionable steps away from the life I'm already living. And I think as you begin to feel what it would feel like living in that life, living in those shoes, living that way, imagining yourself already having that life on a vibrational, on a frequency level, you start to like manifest it or attract it or whatever. And it's a real thing. It's real. It really is real. And it's worked for me for a very long time. And because of that faith, because of everything I've talked about, I know when I want something, I know I'll have it. I know that I will manifest it. I will create it. I will be co-creating it with God and make it happen. And if you're new to like finding a higher power, because I want you to know, like, I was raised, I didn't want this whole thing to be about religion, because I don't agree with religion at all. I'm not a religious person. I don't agree with religion. If you have to follow religion to feel like you're connected to your higher power, more props to you. That's not the way that I did it. I was raised Southern Baptist. I was agnostic for a little while. I was atheist for a little while. I had to completely sever that cord. I had to completely disconnect myself from my higher power and literally go through hell in order for me to reconnect with it on a much deeper level. And I look at it as spirituality. I don't look at it as religion. And so if you're new to all this, because believe me, I get it, talk to it. Talk to the energy, the source, whatever you want to call it. Like you would talking to me. Like you would talking to your friend, or like talking to yourself, maybe, if you do that. I do. I talk to myself all the time. I'm talking to myself right now, technically. I'm talking to you through the camera. But talk to it like a friend. Be honest. Tell it what you want. Ask it for what you want. Tell it what you're willing to do in order to obtain what it is you want. And then ask to be shown the way. Ask to be shown the path that you're supposed to take, the guidance. Ask for the strength to accomplish what it is you're wanting to accomplish. Ask for the wisdom that you need to obtain in order to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish. And I think that it talks back to us, right? I think it talks back to us in what some would call synchronicities. You know, maybe you look at the speedometer and it says 11:11, or you look at the clock and it says 4:44. Or maybe you go into a grocery store and a song that you haven't heard in a long time, but it specifically pertains to your situation comes on. Maybe you're sitting at a coffee shop and the couple next to you is talking about something, and the words that they are saying hit you in your gut. They hit you in your chest, and you're like, oh, like I needed to hear that. Maybe it comes in a random friend calling you or texting you or checking up on you and seeing how you're doing. And maybe something that they say is a message. It works in mysterious ways, man, and I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it. But I love it. And I'm trying to connect with it more and more every day. And so I didn't mean for this message to get so woo-woo-y, and I hope it didn't come across that way to y'all. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm sharing what's worked for me. I'm sharing what I know to be true. And believe me, I'm a pretty skeptical guy. I am a very stubborn person, very hard-headed, very much my way or the highway, punk attitude, fuck you kind of guy. And this is what I know to be true. Something that I want you to understand. Because I wish I had somebody to tell me when I was going through my spiritual awakening, when I was going through my life changes, when I was dropping the people-pleasing and choosing to walk in my authentic self. You're going to disappoint some people. You're going to let some people down. There are going to be people that don't understand. There are going to be people that don't want to see you grow, that don't want to see you change, that don't want to see you become who you're supposed to be, because it threatens themselves. It threatens their way of life, their way of thinking. Seeing you down, seeing you not fulfilling your dreams, seeing you not being a better person, it gives them the green light to continue being where they're at in life. And so when you start to change that, don't expect people to understand. It's a lonely path. It is a lonely, lonely path to walk down. But you got to understand that if people aren't going to support you, and if people aren't going to get it, and people aren't going to follow you, you got to let those people go. If people don't want to grow and change with you, they're not meant to be in your life. And that's a hard truth. That's a horse pill to swallow. But it's the truth. Because not everybody's meant to walk on your path. Not everybody's meant to walk with you. Something my grandma has always told me my entire life is people are either with you for a reason or a season. And I'm sure there's people in your life that you've let them stay around for many seasons too long. Staying stuck or playing small to keep other people comfortable is betraying yourself. You have the power to change your reality. Society doesn't want you to realize that. Society wants you to think that you're stuck. Society wants you to play small. Society wants you to be a people pleaser. But I'm here to tell you right now that you have the strength. You have the power. You have the courage. You have everything you need already within you, inside of you, to become the person that you want to be. And so I ask you to do one thing. Start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not a month from now, not next year. Start today. And I want you to understand that you don't have to just start over on New Year's. You can start over as many times as you want. You can start over today. And if it didn't quite hit the mark today, you can start over tomorrow. And if it didn't quite hit the mark tomorrow, start over the next day. And you keep fucking doing it until you get to where you want to be. I'm not trying to come across as aggressive. It's a little bit of tough love. Because I'm telling you things right now that I wish somebody would have told younger Reed when I was struggling to get through all this shit. I was trudging through the quicksand. And I felt alone. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody that understood it. I didn't have anybody that was thinking like this. I didn't have anybody that was trying to be a positive role model in my life or show me how to think on a deeper level like this when I was in the depths of my hell that I was going through a few years ago. So I hope that I can be that for you. I hope that I can shine a little bit of my light on you and show you that there is a brighter future ahead. There is another way. There's a better way to go than what you're doing right now. If you're not happy with where you're at in life, it takes one small step of action into the right direction, into a direction. That's it. That's all it takes. Just one small step every day. Be 1% better than you were yesterday. And it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your goals. It's okay to get 60% into something and go, maybe I don't want to do this, actually. I built out an entire van. I sold everything I owned. And I bought a van and I built it out to be a camper, to live out of it. Just to realize that wasn't actually what I wanted to do. It was a dream that 17-year-old Reed wanted to do 10 years ago. And so I guess in a way I was fulfilling that dream, but that dream didn't fit me now. That dream didn't fit the person that I have become now. So it's okay to change your goals. It's okay to change what you want to do. It's okay to just redirect. Because changing direction doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you've grown. It means that you're growing and becoming and being. And that's huge. I'm proud of you. I felt compelled to share this message with you guys today. I hope it resonated. I hope something I said, I hope there was one moment in this video for somebody out there that just clicked, that made sense, that made something turn in your brain and go, oh yeah, I needed that. I didn't know I needed that, but I needed that. And so I just want to say I'm proud of you. And you're evolving just by watching this video. You're evolving into a better version of yourself already. But now it's time to take the action. Now it's time to take the next step. I believe in you. Happy New Year. I'm so glad that 2025 is over. And I'm so glad that you're here with me right now. 2026 is going to be an awesome year. I can feel it. I feel it in everything I am. And I appreciate if you subscribe. I appreciate if you like the video. If you know somebody that needs to see this, so maybe you send it to them too. But also realize that maybe they're not ready to be receptive of it either. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Bye.